All right, everybody, what's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to episode number 182 of SWAC Smoke, man, post Christmas edition. Last show of 2024 for SWAC Smoke, man. The next time we come to y'all is gonna be 2025. Hope everybody having a good holiday season out there, man. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and they spent time with your family. Man, what's going on to my crew over there, man? Big Soldier and Jerome, how y'all doing, man?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We got to get that going now.
Oh yeah, New Year is right. And I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was like, they had something coming up in the new year. I was like, that's next week, right? And she was like, oh, I totally forgot, man. But,
Within the week.
yeah, like only a few days, man. So 2025 is almost here, man. We got a lot to be thankful for 2024, especially with what we doing here. Just glad to be able to continue to do this. And I want to start off with some news that dropped a little bit. Well, I just saw it a little while ago. I know Big Soldier put in the group chat. What y'all think about Deshaun Jackson getting a Delaware State job, man?
I love it. I like these brothers getting this opportunity, to coach if that's something they really want to do, man. They got to have a start somewhere. And, I feel like our HBCUs giving brothers chances, so we always have. And I'm more excited for him. I mean, I know he ain't never coached before, but hey, that's a shot. That's a shot of life in their program. Yeah, that boy Deshaun Jackson, that was one of my favorite players back in the day. Punt return, everything. I like the how he played the game, man, and I'm definitely glad he got an opportunity. I can't wait. I'm gonna be a Delaware State Hornet fan and old Spartan again, man.
I see you, man. As a Cowboy fan, man, I couldn't stand Deshaun Jackson, man. That dude used to
I'm right there with you, T-Well.
that dude used to
I ain't
kill
like
us,
him at
man.
Washington or Philadelphia.
Exactly. He was just brutal to us. But like I say, man, the way this is going, man, it seems like this is gonna be the way things going. So if you're not really with it, like I'm probably the one out of all of this like not really into that kind of thing, but I respect it. Programs like that, they need that shot in the arm, man. You know what I'm saying? When you have a program that ain't had a lot of success and don't got a lot going for you, a dude like that can energize your fan base, energize your program, and what I'm saying, get you on the right track. So, I think schools like that definitely can benefit from a guy like that. So he come in with the right attitude, come in ready to work, understand what he's stepping foot into. I think he can be successful. And that shakes up a lot of things in the MEAC, what I'm saying, in the near future. If Norfolk and Delaware State get on point, that adds more challengers to the mix.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't find out about it until Jamie put it in the chat, and you saw my response was, "Wow." I didn't know he had any aspirations to become a coach. I had never heard of him coaching at anywhere before. I know he played in Tampa here for a little while with the Bucks, but I didn't know he was into coaching or anything like that. But I imagine he would have some ties in that Delaware area by playing for Philadelphia. So his name will probably carry a little bit of weight around in there. And he should be able to bring in some talent. Now,
Yeah,
whether
like
it's
I said,
enough to win, I don't know.
yeah, that's always going to be the key factor. If he can get over the hump. But like you say, being right over the water from Philadelphia, being in that area, you just a lot of talent in Pennsylvania. So you can draw from that and build your program up. And with the portal being the way it is, and you're a guy that got a name out there, got a personality too. You know what I'm saying? So I think I think. This
He's from
is
California, right? He's from
he a
California.
California guy, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he got some ties out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he played on the East Coast his career. So I think a program like that, this is a win-win. You know what I'm saying? As long as it don't turn out to be you know what I'm saying, like a dumpster fire, it's a win-win because they getting attention that they ain't got since
Right.
ever. So I think that's a great boost for them to build up. And we'll see what dominoes start to fall in the SWAC. I mean, one we got one down, but before I do want to say I saw a name popping up on a lot of people lists. Y'all can probably scratch that dude off for this year, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. I know a lot of people had thrown his name in there because he was down there coaching at Miami Northwestern, won a state championship. But he just signed. He's supposed to sign with the Lions this week. He had hinted at coming out of retirement, getting back in the NFL. So I think
What?
he gonna sign with the Lions. I saw that earlier. Now I don't know if
But that
that's.
is that just
Oh,
for this playoff run, or that's like
I'm thinking it's for that. What what I'm saying? Opportunity for him to
get a
swing
ring?
that somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Next season. So because he had kind of had some statements about getting back into the NFL. So I know a lot of people was kind of how him getting a job in the HBCU realm because he won a championship at Miami Northwestern. But I will say this: if you know Miami football, you don't have to be no great coach to win at Central
Yeah.
or Northwestern or none of the schools. You just got to be able to keep them dudes on the field. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah, it's talent. It's talent.
it's
Yeah.
talent on talent down there. But I just wanted to put that out there because I saw a lot of people put his name up there. Um, and so we gonna be we're gonna be doing it up. Um, PV got a coach, and I like that hire, man. Tremaine Jackson, I like that hire. I think that's a guy. Houston from Houston, coached at TSU the year they won their SWAC championship. Um, played there for a couple of years. Know the area. Won everywhere he been. Yeah, I think that guy is a good guy for that job.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I got it back. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jamie.
I like it though. I like that hire. Man, I'm trying to get got a little something coming down the pipeline for you guys whenever this SID clear some things, man, and we're gonna start bringing some of these coaches on this show, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
we
working
about
on
to
a little
start
something. Got a little
25
something.
gonna be that kind of year, man.
So get your popcorn ready, cause we finna bring it though. But I love that I hire with Prairie View. I mean, Coach Jackson was doing his thing at Valdosta the last 2 years, powerful D2 program, and hey, he said he come back to the SWAC. He gonna put the SWAC on notice. So I like these coaches that's coming in. I'm still waiting on Valley and
And
A&M to see who they gonna hire. Cause man, that's one thing we gotta level up this coaching in the SWAC. So I like it.
yeah,
Yeah, we need some stability, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
we got a lot of coaches in first and second years. Um, so I think it's just I think it's gonna be oh, that's big. That's big. All SWAC offensive linemen, man, getting them back. That's a big get. But like I said, being able to get some stability and build these programs up right, that's what we need. We can't keep. It seems like in the SWAC, a lot of people tend to do the same things, and now the move is to get rid of dudes after 2 or 3 years. So we need to start giving guys chances to get their programs on the proper footing and get some stability going, man, because you can't keep turning over every other year. You can't keep doing that and expecting to have a winning program. It just don't work that way. So we got to be able to keep some of these coaches and make good hires first and foremost. You got to make a good hire. And you got to kind of understand what your goals and aspirations for your program is. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody goal is a celebration bowl, but for some teams that ain't really the first move. You need to, what I'm saying, get you some wins under your belt and get a guy that can build you up. more than what I'm saying, trying to make that run when you're not really ready for it.
Yeah. Speaking of Celebration Bowl, I received a shirt so I got my shirt for Christmas. So it said Jackson State University HBCU National Champions Celebration Bowl.
Say that again.
Okay, I want
He
y'all to hear
said
this again.
HBCU National Champ
Okay,
Celebration Bowl champions.
it says Jackson State University HBCU 2024 National Championships, and they got Celebration Bowl.
That's it. That's
That's it.
It don't have the year 24 on there.
Okay, I'm gonna show y'all what was on the shirt. Okay, so you got HBCU, and then they got National Champions Celebration Bowl. You see
What?
you see what I'm
No, what I'm missing.
Okay. Okay.
I'm slow.
What
You got to break it down. You got to break it down for me.
I think it should say
P National Champions.
It should say Jackson State University 2024 HBCU National Champions, right? All right, it could have been Celebration Bowl National Champions.
So you don't like the Celebration Bowl after the national champions?
Yeah, like Israel said, just take the Celebration Bowl. I think it'd been better just say HBCU National
Y'all
Champions.
got the most important thing, the national championship. That's the most important thing.
But shout out to Snapmane and all him out here making these shirts, man. I'd rather get Snapmane than $15 than some of these major players out here. You know what I'm saying, like Fanatics or something.
Yeah, man. Like
you gonna wear it? Are you gonna wear it? Or are you gonna just put it up?
Hey, give me my goddamn shirt.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I got a hoodie too. I got a hoodie coming in, but this is my other Christmas gift. The JSU, the old school JSU.
Yeah, I like that.
The bouncing
I like that.
Mm-hmm. So, but heck yeah, I'm gonna wear my shirt. I don't care if it is a misprint.
It ain't really a misprint.
I don't think it's a misprint.
It just worded oddly, but.
Hey, cause one year I swear, somebody, I know everybody try to make a little money off me, bro, and I don't blame you, but you can't mess around and spell believe wrong and say I believe. And then you want to sell that shirt $25. No, you gotta get it made. We gotta get $5 for that shirt. You just I seen somebody walking around and say I believe. I'm like,
yeah. That's
hey,
like,
bro, y'all remember Martin when Brumman was selling them t-shirts?
But shout out, we gotta support black business, man.
Yes, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with some black business. We have to make sure we get everything right now.
But most definitely, man, if you got a local store or a vendor in your area, man, that make paraphernalia, man, support them, bro. Because if you look at a line like the Anthony Lawrence collection, and this is not a commercial because they ain't paying me, but they started off small, bro.
Yeah.
They started off in a store right off of Hardin Boulevard at Southern University. And now they doing licensed apparel for damn near half the HBCUs and some power schools. You know what I'm saying? So started small, man. Selling out a tent on the side, man, and just build because people support. And so just you never know that dude that's selling them t-shirts. You know what I'm saying, for 3 for $5. He might turn out to be some of you if you get behind him. You know what I'm saying? So. Just keep supporting, man. It's better to put that money down than, like you say, give the Fanatics or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
You give it to
don't really care about,
man. Your local vendor, and he making the money versus Fanatics. Banging off our name, ain't gonna give none of that Fanatic money back to the HBCUs. And
no, don't kick none of them.
So yeah, it's always support your own Anthony Lawrence, public figure for Jackson State. I seen one of the coldest BCU jackets ever. I'm not in BCU. Ooh, that thing was so fire though. Ooh, it was so fire. If I can find out who they is, I'm gonna find out who it is on that show.
It's a
I'm gonna give
motorcycle
you a shout
jacket.
out.
It's a motorcycle
Yeah,
jacket.
it look like it's gold.
They
It's all
got
gold.
they got
With the
some
maroon
family
and white
ones like
letters.
that. But I ain't slim enough. My little gut be poking out.
Yeah. Bama
Like I
State got
say,
some heat too. I don't know who
oh
made Bama
yeah,
State stuff. Yeah, but they's legit too.
man, I ain't gonna lie. A couple years ago, man, DJ showed up at the classic with his Alabama State sweater on. Man, I was like, I don't even like Bama State, but man, I get that from you, bro. That thing was
Yeah.
cold, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So like, support, man, just support. If you're in Baton Rouge, go to. And I know everybody that been there before you in Baton Rouge, but man, y'all make sure y'all support Top Choice too, man. They got a lot of good stuff over
Yeah,
there.
when I come to Baton Rouge, I gotta stop by Anthony Lawrence and I'm gonna check that out too.
Man,
Cause
them boy, man,
them boys doing it.
they that came up so big, man. Moved across town, got a new store. Well, it ain't new now, but got a different location across town, man. So I like to see that, man. I got a lot of his stuff, and I wear it all the time. So it's comfortable stuff, sturdy. You can't beat it, man. So support them businesses, man. They need it more than them other places because them other places gonna get their money from somewhere else anyway.
I agree.
So another thing that's kind of been floating around is this new extra year for JUCO people.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
I just seen a few guys already say they coming back
I do
for
not
one
want
more
to see
year.
you. If you've been out 2-3 years talking about you trying to come back and relive something that
Isaiah
ain't there
Mason
no
said he
more.
coming back.
I'm sorry. Man, let's move on in your life, bro.
We're gonna bring
Get you
Mason
a
back.
real job out here, man. I don't
They
want to
need
Hey,
to
see
stop.
26, 27 talking about you trying to come back to JUCO. Come on now.
no, I think they put some caveats on it. I saw it earlier. I was trying to go back and find it. They were saying with they had put some stipulations on it, but I can't. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I know one of them was you have to still be within your 5 year window. And if you was in JUCO before, if you was in JUCO before 2020, it don't work for you. So if you're a dude who was in
Right.
JUCO in
Yeah.
2019,
17.
you can't
No.
you
Ain't
can't
gonna
do
be
it.
no good.
Yeah. So like
Why they
Big
trying to
Soldier say,
find so many? Why they trying to find so many extra years of eligibility for these
I
guys?
I don't
I
know, man.
know
I
because
think
I
they're trying
thought
to relive a dream or so. I think that's what it is, man.
because we just not getting we really just not
COVID.
coming up on the end of the COVID year for people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I you know what I'm saying, like I had to spend an hour explaining to my wife why what I'm saying, this kid is still at Southern when he was down when she first started following her team. And now dude's going to be going to JUCO and coming back and getting an extra year. So it like you would want to start to cycle some of these dudes out, man. Like no offense to nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a few dudes I wouldn't mind, coming back, but you know,
But some of
it
these
ain't for
players don't need
everybody,
to come
bro.
back. It
It,
ain't for
it ain't for
everybody.
everybody.
If you're a third string man, a fourth string man, and you talking about I'm trying to go, where else you going? It's time to get a job now, cuz you need to get your master's, your PhD, and come on out into the work field like me. It's
Yeah.
like
time to
that,
let it
like
go now, cuz
Come on and contribute to the alumni.
yeah,
Hang with the
you need to
alumni.
contribute to society
Show up
now.
at the game and tailgate like I do. Feel like you're really
Right.
part of it.
like that dude from Miami that been in college for like 9 years. Like bro, go get a job,
Yeah,
man.
it's time to get a job now, cuz.
Yeah.
Man,
We
you a
good,
whole
bro.
man
Man.
now. 32 years old talking about you standing in the door. No, no, man. man. That's not how my taxpayer dollars going. No,
Trying to
you
tackle
can't do
18-year-olds, you know what I'm saying?
that. You out here wearing your bows in the dorm.
with the straps across the knees.
Platform hoodie on, man. No, man, we're not gonna do that. That's in my area. We gonna come. You gonna come. We coming on going to work. You gonna hit that clock at 8, at 9 somewhere.
Yes, indeed. So, like I say, I don't know how this is gonna work. You know, I just think at some point you got to start getting some of these dudes out of here so you can make room for other people. Um, and like you say, man, if you're a guy, and I ain't trying to knock nobody hustle, I ain't trying to knock nobody dream, but if you're a guy that's at Southern and you ain't played at Southern in 3 years, bro, they are not coming to get you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They not coming to get you. So stay where you at and work to move up the depth chart. Go to school and graduate. I know that sounds harsh, but
That's
bro,
the end goal, though. See, Will, either
yeah,
your priority is to get your education and be able to provide for your family. Not because everybody not gonna start at football. That's life, period. Everybody not gonna be top level CEOs and everything. You got to have some workers. So you know, you got to work no matter what
yeah.
it is in life. You got to work.
Ain't no job got 30 bosses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they do, they ain't making no money.
Nah, you gonna work. You gonna work
a,
somewhere.
a job with a ton of bosses ain't making a damn dollar. So
Yeah, all these boys say they can't get a job. There's plenty of folks hiring you. Man, man, come on now. Trying to hit that clock.
hey,
Get you some
and if you want to
benefits.
sit, and if you still want to play football, bro, they got the
Semi-pro league.
UFL. They
Yeah.
got semi-pro leagues. Every city got some team that's floating around here that you could
They
join to keep
do.
your football goals going, man. You know that.
Yeah. Valley got an opening for a coach. Anybody
Exactly.
want that?
Hey,
Yeah, come
you
on,
put that.
coach.
Hey, we could take 10 dudes from the SWAC that's not playing right now and put them on that staff, bro,
Yeah, put them on that staff. Yeah.
and see if we can and see if they can win a game or two, man. So it just like I say, man. I saw earlier today that they got like I think over 5,000 people in the portal right now with
That's
another.
nuts. That's nuts, though.
But they still got another anticipated like 700 coming because of they capping the FBS rosters. I think it's summertime, so you
Yeah.
almost gonna have over 6,000 dudes in the portal, bro. There's only so many schools and so many spots for people. It's gonna be a lot of dudes, bro. That's gonna
Some of
be
them
up out in the
good though.
cold, man.
Some of them players good. You just gotta be able to. Just gotta be able to pick. You
Bro,
know. I
I'm
was telling
gonna
my
tell you.
brother. Huh? Go ahead.
Oh, you go. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was talking with my brother-in-law, and I was saying it's getting like kind of like little league football is down here in Tampa. Once you pay your registration fee, you can play for whatever team in the league. You know, as long
as
as you
long
can make it to
as long as
practice.
you didn't
You know what I'm
pay.
saying? Yeah. So it's like that's how college football is getting now. But it's
Mm-hmm.
got to be some good players out there in that portal. You
It
just got to
is,
be
but
able to
it
pick them.
this is what the transfer portal is like, bro. The transfer portal is like shopping at Burlington Coat Factory after Christmas. You know how they
Mm-hmm.
got everything all over the place. You got to go through everything. You got one shoe over
Mm-hmm.
here. You got one Jordan over there. One Jordan over there. But you got to try to match them up. You know what I'm saying? They got
Yeah.
a nice shirt hidden under all these. You got to dig and find, man. So
Yeah.
it's tons of talent out there, and I talk about dudes that hadn't played nowhere, but it's guys that haven't played for various reasons that
Mm-hmm.
can help your team. If you get the right person, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you're getting until you get them on campus, unless they already done played, and then you know what you're getting. So
Speaking of that, man. Now, I ain't knocking on some of these players that I've seen that come through the SWAC. They wasn't hitting on nothing in football, but they can get down in the kitchen and have very successful businesses as chefs.
who there?
Football players got
Former football players that wasn't that great. You know, they wasn't that great in the SWAC or whatever, but they have great restaurants.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
that's what it's all about for you to come
Yeah,
through,
yeah. So it
play,
might be
make your
something.
connections, and you know build up your
Yeah,
community
really. Yeah,
and
yeah. It
start
might
your
be.
business.
Yeah, yeah. You might be not. You might be good at football. Yeah, but you might. That might not be your calling. You might be great at something else.
yeah. I
That's
Yeah,
mean,
where
you
you got
just
to tap in.
and that's what college is for, man. Making them
Mm-hmm.
connections, finding the right avenue for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's only so many spots on any level of football. And there's a ton of people going out of the same spots. You know, when you go from high school to college, the numbers shrink. College to pro, the numbers shrink. Somebody gonna get left out. And I
yeah.
saw somebody tweet. I saw somebody tweet right at the end of the season that a lot of these dudes going in the portal. They probably didn't play their last college football game if they even
They really
played
have,
because
right?
you just you just don't you got to stand out from the crowd, bro. Like
You might not get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
so, and some of these dudes, they finding out, they got to start looking, looking lower, like they got to look deep too. A lot of dudes ain't even think like that, they FBS a bust, it's just, and I talk to kids, when they go in the portal, bro, and I be like, man, what's your move? Oh, I'm trying to go FBS. Like, hey, I ain't gonna never discourage you,
How you
but
FBS though? You look third in the SWAC though.
yeah,
Third string in the
that's what I'm
SWAC. That
saying.
don't make sense.
My
You
my
got to be able to, you got to know your range, man.
my son played with some guys. They've been in the portal back and forth from Utah, and I forget where they at now. But they've been one of them played running back. He been bouncing around, and then one of them went to Georgia. I think he jumped in the portal now. Uh, I was just looking earlier today. My son played with the guy for Toledo, the receiver, Junior Vandross. But
The
he
dude got
went.
that penalty today.
Yeah. He he been there from a freshman though. He hasn't been bouncing around. But a lot of the guys that was on that team with my son at Jesuit, they kind of been bouncing around a little bit. Some of them. So
You see that a
I
lot. You
don't
know what
know
I
if
mean?
it's a fad or what. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly I couldn't even say because I don't know what people looking for. It's like so you got some guys. Some things happen, and they they have a issue with coach or whatever, and they have to leave, or they just wanna they just wanna find them something,
Cause I like
and when you
I got a great example. Go ahead, see Will.
well, I was just gonna say, and now a lot of these dudes chasing bags, and all y'all not gonna get bags. You know what I mean? Like you got to understand what's out there and what's really available for you. Like Javani Gibson, Oklahoma, hey, he deserved it. The kid put up tremendous numbers. He's
Yeah.
a great player. Andrew Jones, same thing. Those guys. Rodney Johnson from Southern, he at Louisville. Those guys are different than certain,
The
the
average.
other guys. So it's like
Mhm.
I don't want to put everybody in the same box, but when you got the opportunity, I think, especially if you didn't put your time in at that school, if you put 3 or 4 years in at my school, I can't ask for nothing more from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you grad transfer, hey, play your last year, on the high level, like Christian Davis at Southern last year, went to Houston. Just I don't mind that, but when you're a guy who could probably be playing this upcoming season, if you work and you leave with no
Then
with no
you should go. Right. It
yeah.
shouldn't be no
So
question if you moving, you not gotta know where you're going. I know what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You should
yeah,
know where
you
you're
you
going
gotta
and you're going to play. Not like you just going searching for the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This
opportunity.
ain't this ain't the time to search. But what you gonna say, Big Soldier?
Yeah, they were just saying that like some of our players, man, they do leave and you know, they go other places, but a lot of them end up getting lost in the shuffle. You always thinking about how, you know, Ja'Cory Merritt was balling at Alabama State and then was balling at New Mexico, but going to Arizona, I think got into some disciplinary issues, and now, you know, his likelihood of getting drafted is probably going to be low. So, you know, guys like Quinterio Cole, my Alcorn,
Yeah.
just because you necessarily mean you go FBS don't necessarily mean you go, that's the best move. I kind of feel like guys look at the SWAC and they still we look at our level as being inferior. You know, I feel like why we can't ball at our level and why we got to still measure ourselves against FBS as being like if we gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
feel like you can make it from the SWAC.
You can. But to me, if you saying, you know, if you're a person and you like, well, I'm swag, but I'm trying to move, and you're talking like power four, of course, that's, you know, that's money, you know what I'm saying, facilities, all that. But if you're talking about going from Southern to ULM, bro, that's like going from FCS to FCS. You ain't moving up. That's not a move
right.
up.
Right.
That's
That's
a
a
move up in
grading
name
zone.
only. That's a move up in name only.
Yeah.
And if you
But
go there and ride the bench, that's even worse. You know, I just feel like every move you make should be better than what you had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I was surprised with FAMU losing their defensive line like they did this past year. And the previous seasons, FAMU been having a string of defensive players going, you know, not getting
Pro.
drafted, but getting free agent looks and stuff. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious that they had the eyes down there and looking. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
would think, why would you leave when it's already eyes in that area?
Come
You know
on
what I'm
now.
saying?
Yeah,
And some of them guys left, and I don't really hear much from them. I didn't. I think Dunn played for Toledo. I was looking for him today, but I couldn't. I didn't see him. But you know, it's like they leave and they have good careers going, and they leave for whatever reason because they all got different reasons, and we can't, you know, everybody different. But it seemed like they just fall off once you don't never hear about them again. You know, it's like them other teams just get them just so you can't have them. You know what I
That's it.
mean?
Yeah, and you're exactly right. It's like a lot of some of these SWAC guys, they look at you, they ain't looking for you just to come start. They looking for you to be doggone it, go and be a good role player, a bench player in order to keep their number ones on the field.
Correct.
The
yeah,
reality of the game.
Yeah.
and you know, like you said, I think about guys that, you know, had as a person that follow FBS football, Power Four football, the fans and the media sites, bro, they use the FCS like a farm league. They be sitting there looking at guys and be like, man, this dude had 1,200 yards rushing at Alabama State. We need him. You know, you don't know how he's gonna translate over to your level. You don't, you
But
know what I'm saying? You don't
but
know
they
what
just
you got on
want
your
him up
roster
there.
already.
Yep. Yeah.
And you know, these teams constantly recruiting, so just because they bring you in don't mean they're not looking at nobody else, especially when they're teams that recruit on a high level. They recruiting for your spot now. And you know, they looking at bring in a freshman that can play anyway. So you know,
Right.
you really rolling the dice, man. And you know, like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on people because, you know, I'm not really doing that. I'm just, you know, I just feel how I feel about it. But I just think a lot of guys, if they stop and think and look at the situation they're in and actually look at what's out there for you, not what you think out there for you, or not what out there for your teammate, but what's out there for you. You know, you might be passing up opportunity to be a star when your time comes. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I just think the days of guys putting in, you know what I'm saying, 2 or 3 years on the bench, you know, waiting their time, and then, you know, balling out the last couple of years. I think them days is over.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
No.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
rare.
done. You're gonna
It's
get
gonna
two
be
years.
rare.
It's like you're gonna get 2 years out
Mm-hmm.
of the guys. You'll be lucky to get two. Because if they do too good in that first year, they're gonna look to dip. You know what I'm saying? And then, or either they will have come from somewhere else and have spent 1 or 2 years of eligibility, and then you get them for maybe 2 years, or like fam you did with Richardson, they only got him for 1 year. You know, so it's like you can't get used to you ain't gonna be growing up with them.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta learn how to work that roster every day.
yeah, you do, and that's why I think you're gonna always see. I think the gap between your top teams and your lower teams is gonna get bigger because some teams can lose guys and replace guys. Some teams can't. If you're a team that barely winning and you don't got a lot of talent or numbers, and you lose your top dudes, you're not guaranteed to bring in somebody that's was as productive as that guy. You
Right.
know, them losing a top receiver is not the same as Jackson State losing a top receiver. You know, y'all got depth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got, if
Somebody in
need
the
be, y'all
locker
can,
room that want to play anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you got, you might have to go more, with a more, versatile type of dude. You got that on your roster. You can move pieces around. Some of these teams, when they lose guys, like the kid, remember that Valley. That dude was one of the better receivers in the country. He leaving. They don't have much behind him. Same thing with the quarterback. So now you in a hole trying to fill a spot that other teams might be able to put somebody else in. And I think that's the biggest difference right now is that the teams who's struggling, whether it's numbers or talent, if they lose a guy, man, it's hard to replace that guy.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Valley got to make sure they hire the right coach. Because get rid of a coach like Wade, then all of a sudden like that, I hope it's somebody they're gonna feel like they could really come in there and really change that program and move it forward. Because if not, I mean, you can go reverse real quick.
Yeah, and it is. Like you got. And let's talk about that a little bit. I know we talk about that a lot, but that Valley job is a hard job, bro. I don't care what nobody say. You behind 8 ball the minute you sign that contract.
Yeah.
You in a place where it's tough to recruit guys. You don't got a lot of history to draw from. You don't got you ain't got no long-term success to draw from. Hell, your best team ever, you still ain't win the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things I always look at. Like when you look at the Jerry Rice, Wood Titan days, them teams were tremendous, and they still ain't win the SWAC. And it don't get any better than them teams, and they haven't been anywhere close to that level since. So I think having a coach that come in that job, man, he got to know what he's getting into, and he got to know that he's gonna have to work himself a lot to get anything done. And I was thinking, I've been thinking about is Valid the kind of place for a celebrity coach to go? Because are you gonna have that? Are you gonna have that patience to deal with a lot of the shortcomings that they have?
I mean, if Deshaun Jackson did at Delaware State, heck, I know he would have probably said yes to Valley.
Yeah, Delaware State Stadium
think
look
about
like
it
a
like
high
that.
school. It ain't like he went there for no facilities and stuff. You done seen them highlights.
I know. I've been there.
Oh, okay. I'm not laughing at him. I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm not either. But because a lot of teams don't have the best of stuff, and you can look over FCS, and there's a lot of teams that don't got great stuff. But I just,
that Vic, it needs some work. Put it that way. Vic needs some work too.
I think I said it'll be 100 years old this year or something like that. So it definitely needs some TLC. But I think I just think that you have to be a coach that's gonna be willing to get your feet dirty. You know what I'm saying? Roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, and have to come up with different ways to do things because what work at some places is probably not gonna work there.
Right.
And I think that you just have to be willing to grind, man. And trying to find them ways to win. Maybe you're gonna have to run a system that don't nobody else run. to kind of get get
Would
you
you
some
just
guys.
recruit all high school? Would you just go say, I'm gonna just get all high school? My first year, I'm gonna come in this, we gonna be our freshman class and whatever, and we're gonna grow up together. And hopefully you can keep them, that good core. Say you get a good, I don't know how many they can get, 30 or so come in with you as freshmen or whatever, and just grow them up and take your lumps and lose. You blend in some older players and some transfers in here and there, but just have your core team be that freshman class. I guess kind of like what Willie Simmons did with the crew he brought in and kind of and grew up. And it may take you 8 years, 7 years before you reap some benefits from it. But I wouldn't see a program like Valley or Delaware State. I don't see them really having a problem with going through that process, because at least as long as it's improving and you see some form of growth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know how long they're gonna give you, because especially Valley. I mean, they just got rid of a dude in his second year at Valley. I mean, yes, they won one game, but that game they won was the biggest game they done won in years.
Yeah.
And they look and they looked like they was playing better football a couple weeks before that. They should have beat Prairie View. They lost that game. The refs took that game from them. So that's a game they could have won. They was competitive for a quarter and a half or so against Jackson State. Might have been less, but
So that's saying you can get talent there, and
you
can win there. You just got to be willing to go in there and put in, whatever it takes to do it. Even if it take, say you get a high school coach that come and give a high school dude a chance, that, and he bring a bunch of his high school cats from his region or whatever and grow them up like that.
But you gotta get them to buy in, because boy, when you ride at the Valley, man, it makes you want to turn around. I ain't gonna lie to you. Get a little depression on the back road.
It make you want to turn around.
So you got to be locked in when you go there.
And you talking about a shock on that first visit, boy.
Yeah.
I ain't never, I've never seen it, man. Y'all making it sound like some life, like I'm going to the life prison or somewhere. From the movie Life or somewhere. Yeah, come on, man.
No, seriously, some parts of it is like that, damn near.
I mean, when you say country Mississippi, bro, don't get no more than that,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's some houses up there, and I ain't trying to knock on nobody, but it looks like slave quarters, man. Seriously. Some people houses, there was shotgun houses, and
so that stuff still like that. Some of that stuff still like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's still, and it's not the people, man. It's, man, we get on politics,
As a student, what do the students do? I mean, they just stay on campus. Ain't no what would be the draw to get a student there?
Really, just the school, because there ain't really much anything around the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had to go to Greenwood, Memphis.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day when my dad was up there, he said he used to go to Memphis. Like he used to go to Memphis to hang out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll be hard to get a city kid to go to. It'll be hard to get a city kid. A country kid might go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you got good food though.
You would have to get some type of a recruit. I think somebody for the Valley job will have to come from that type of environment and know how to attract kids, probably country kids, to that type of environment. That's the only way. And then if you do come from the city, you be a bounce back or something, like a couple bounce back guys from JUCO or something. They're trying to get an opportunity.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I know you good, but I'm gonna keep you here for a year, and I need you to ball out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I almost think I almost feel like you gotta kind of have one of them JUCO type coaches, man, that know how to turn over rosters and deal with different dudes that's on different trajectories, right, man. Because you might have to go to getting some of them guys who this might be their last go round. Like you might have to kind of get a couple guys that might not be the best chemistry wise for you, but talent they can get it done,
Mhm.
and
Right.
try to get you some wins, somewhere. I do think, and I understand why they do it, but playing full non-conference games on the road to open up your season, bro, that make it so hard for you
That's
to
nasty,
come
man.
in to come into conference play already 0-4, and you probably
Right.
got blowed out in all four of them games, And I'm not talking about playing like North Dakota State or nobody. You playing like mid-level teams and getting blowed out, which they happen
Right.
a lot of us. But I think playing them kind of games over and over with no break and no home game in that, it really deters dudes. And I don't want to get lost in the shuffle that Coach Wade was recruiting well over there, man. I used to talk to a couple of their coaches, and them coaches used to be they used to be all over beating the bush to get dudes. You know what I'm saying? And they would get guys to commit transfers and stuff, but it takes time for them teams to come together, and
Mhm.
they don't have the depth. So an injury or something, man, that wreck a whole team like that. That's why I think you have to be. I know when you're losing, man, you get tired of losing. You wanna, you wanna get on the winning track because you're watching everybody else win. But sometimes you gotta pull back and just work and get it, get yourself stable before you worry about that part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
build the
you kind of change
foundation
it.
first and
Yeah,
establish the culture
yeah,
before you.
exactly.
Yeah. 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 What?
Because then you,
I think they can get it done. They like you say, he had talent this year, so whoever they get in there can get some talent. I I I got faith. I think they can do it. Now, like you say, I don't think they're gonna win the West or East or whatever, but I think you can find some players because they had some players out there when I saw them when they played FAMU. So it's and even before that, the coach that was there before, I can't call his name now. He
of
had them
course,
boys
dancing.
dancing. Yeah,
That,
he had them. He had them. Playing feisty and stuff. So
yeah, I think a coach like that. I think he was getting that program in the right direction. You know, that was the kind of team that even if you were up three scores, they were still playing hard. Like you could be
mhm.
up 35-3 and they still trying to knock your head off because they wasn't quitting. A lot of times you used to play Valley, you get up big, they pack it in, but that kind of stuff feed over, and you get guys who start to understand, man. We're not gonna quit. We're gonna keep working. We'll keep hammering away at this, and then it come through for you. So it just take like I say, man. I think everything now is sped up. It's like you hire a coach, and I was thinking about this today. One thing I don't like about social media is that new coach smell. Like you get a new car and it just got that new car
Everybody
smell
all
and
over the
everything
new
great.
coach.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and you don't know what this guy's gonna do because you already know your team fired that coach before. He not some coaches can magically come in and turn around the first year, but some can't.
right.
So it's like you got to have that patience. And nowadays, everybody think, oh, I can just go in the portal, grab three dudes, you know, we gonna be good, and it don't always work like that.
You you
So
you
now,
you talking to a person that lived it this past season, so you preaching to the choir right now.
hey, I'll come from a place we had four coaches in like 5 years, so it just one of them things where it's like you're never gonna get nowhere if you constantly if your first instinct, which is one of the things I hate as a fan being at games, I hate the fact that the minute something go wrong, it's fire the coach. It's like that's not gonna solve all these problems. Firing the coach is not gonna solve the problems that we got on the field right now. That's only
Especially
gonna cause more problems.
right.
So
Yeah.
it's just sometimes you gotta let coaches go through growing pains. Sometimes you gotta have some coaches. They might win three games the first year. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying be happy with a losing record. But if you let a coach get in there, you let him get his guys in there, you let him get his program running, you know, you never know what can come from that. But you gotta allow some of that leeway, and everybody want it now, and when you want it now, you don't always get it. And you constantly chasing that. And if you can't catch it, it's
Oh,
just
fire
you
trucks
just
coming back. I know
uh-oh.
y'all gonna hear him. You hear him coming through. A lot of 'em.
Yeah, you gotta,
But
like I said, at least 3 or 4 years, man. Because you gotta let the coach get his guys in there, and I just think a lot of people now are just so won't that they just can't get themselves a chance to build.
damn, what the hell is that? That's more than a fire truck.
Well,
Might be
y'all got
president
something
or
crazy
somebody
going on
coming
out
through
there.
here. Could be the president coming down here.
Yeah, y'all got it busy over there.
They come down Lois every time they come through here because the airport right up the street.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it'd be a
But
gang. It'd be a whole long parade full of them. But yeah, uh, FAMU. Since we're talking about coaches, FAMU picked up two coaches. They picked up an offensive line coach and a running back coach from North Carolina Central. I had sent that in the chat earlier, I thought.
yeah, I
Maybe
remember
I
seeing
did.
that.
Yeah. So they having a few little coaching changes. We going. I guess Cozy going through his growing pains, getting in some same thing like you were saying, getting his boys in. Some guys he, I guess, more familiar with or whatever the case may be. But that taste of success is what calls for schools to be wanted right now. Once you get a
Yeah,
little, once you get a little taste of it, boy, that's it.
oh, one thing about winning, it spoils you as a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when Southern when first time I saw Southern win 7 games, bro. I thought I had hit the lottery. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I had never seen, I only seen Southern win 6 games once at that point in my life. So for them to win like 7, I was like, Jesus, we good. You know what I'm saying? So I went from that to Pete Richardson first year winning the SWAC. From then on, everybody at Southern automatically assume we supposed to win everything. You supposed to, you get comfortable with winning, and then when you hit the downturn, everything start to come apart more rapidly because everybody emotions are flying high because now you used to winning. You don't want that adversity. You don't want that struggle. So everything is heightened. And yeah, I think that's what Coach Cole's at right now, trying to, get himself right the ship. And more so than that, just keeping people calm.
Right. Take a step back and realize that it take a lot of work. It wasn't, what happened. It ain't easy for it to win. I'll put it like that. It ain't
Yeah,
easy. Winning ain't easy.
I saw a comment. I see somebody saying McNair might have to be considered, and I know Connell Maynard threw his name in the hat.
At A&M.
Yeah, at the Valley job.
Oh, at
Oh,
Valley.
you
Valley.
did?
Yeah, they said he threw his name in the hat for that job.
See what else say they gonna have to pay McNair. Ain't that what you say, see what
That's what I say. I feel like, I mean, he left Alcorn because he wanted more money, and they couldn't really come to agreement. He thought he was getting what he was gonna get at TSU and get it. I think he gonna, he gonna want to get paid. I mean, the man got a pedigree. He
Right.
should get paid.
Valley gonna have to
So
get a. I think they're gonna have to get a coach that's gonna be not only be able to win, but somebody that can track some dollars to that area
yeah,
because
Yeah.
it because they fan base, they don't really come out like that, and
Right.
it's gonna have to be somebody that's gonna make sure them stands full every Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have
and
to
that
be somebody. Yeah, I know a lot of people might not like it, but we got a old boy wait. You know, old boy been waiting out on the job for a while. I know what I'm talking
Every
about. And I'm sorry, it wouldn't be no bad fit in Valley.
man,
man.
I'm riding with my old man. He said that he like, man, you think
You
Ed
say
Reed
he
go
was
to Valley?
complaining about facilities and stuff.
It ain't about no. He just. I think the brother had good intentions. Honestly, in my opinion, I just think he went about it the wrong way.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
if he went about it the right way, he would probably been at Bethune.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's gonna have to take somebody like that that's gonna be able to bring not just Valley football, the whole community to like to
Yeah,
really get behind it. Yeah, it's
it's
gonna have to be
everything.
somebody.
Got to bring Jerry Rice back. Just let him be the CEO.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody that could bring them play like Jerry back. You know, them Ashley Ambroses and
Yeah,
them players.
Why
Yeah,
Totten won't never go back over there?
Tom coaching out there.
I thought he was at Southern.
who he at
Yeah,
Southern?
he was coaching quarterbacks at Valley though,
He
wasn't
did.
he?
Yeah, he did. He coached at Valley for a while. Then he, but
Oh, okay.
he coaching QBs at Southern now. But he been he been over there for a minute. But I, if a guy like Ed Reed, bro, if he he a person who realized what he how he handled it, and he want he can show that he didn't learn from it.
Well, I don't know, but
They got to be a dog though. Whoever it is, they got to be a dog. But speaking of a dog, can I talk about my rich partners in Alabama A&M right quick? That's my favorite fan base, man. Can I talk about my favorite fan base over there at Alabama
Oh, go
A&M?
ahead.
Y'all, my rich partners. Hey, rich
Yeah,
partners out there, Alabama A&M, man. Hey, much love to y'all, man. I can't wait to visit Huntsville again soon. But with that coach, what you think they need?
they need
I
somebody to
think
just know the area.
yeah, I think they just need a guy that can bring a bit more of a defensive approach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think defense was their biggest weakness the last few years. But you get a good OC that can handle that side of it. You get you focus on the other side of the ball. I think they moving in the right direction because they spend a lot of money on their program on the whole department now. They're increasing their facilities and stuff. I think they serious about making the moves. Um, I think you need I think a guy who focus is that next step. Because I mean there's no reason why they shouldn't be challenging for the division championship.
Right. Because, I mean, yeah, the clock ticking because they don't have a, recruiting coming up soon. That somebody got to name somebody. So I know that.
Maybe
Yeah,
they'll do it at the first of the year. Hey,
yeah, because a
see
lot of
what else?
times, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I saw HBCU band talk in the chat, and I wanted to shout out Texas Southern Band with the Beyonce yesterday during the halftime show. I don't know if y'all saw that or caught that. I'm pretty sure y'all did see it.
Yeah, shout out to the Ocean, man.
I don't even watch that. I don't even pay attention to Beyonce. I go to the
Oh,
hot dog. I go get a hot dog and the nachos. What you talking about?
they did good, man. They did good. You missed it. You missed it. It was a good show, man. They did good. It was good. The whole thing. They incorporated one just like they were just in the in the background or whatever. They kind of featured them a little bit. They had the dancers, they had the horns, they had the flags, drum major, everything got a little shine.
That
It
was
was
the
a
best
good
part of
look.
that game. If
Yeah, it
you
was
if
a
you
good look.
if you was affiliated with Houston, that was the best part of that game yesterday. Because the rest of that game was,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
game
that
was
was
a
oh my
blowout.
god, that game was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was
But
bad.
man, like I say, we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap this thing up, man. This, like I said earlier, this is the last show for us for 2024. Next time we come to y'all, it's gonna be 25, and we might got something big for y'all on our first show. My boy working on something. Got
Yes,
something he cooking up
yes.
over there. So we gonna try to bring y'all some more different stuff. You know, we're gonna do this kind of stuff, but we're gonna also try to, you know, branch out and get some guests on here. So y'all just keep rocking with us, man. You know, we appreciate y'all for being here every week, man. Jerome, I thank you, man, for, you know, coming through and being a part of the crew now. So, you know, we done added an extra face over here, and hey, we onward and upward, man.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to the future.
I hope
So
everybody Christmas was good because mine was definitely good because it was my birthday yesterday. So
yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to the big soldier, man. What number you hit on the?
I hit all 39, man. I'm on
Oh, almost in
39
the
Young.
40
now.
plus
Oh,
club.
y'all young, man. Y'all
Yeah,
so
man.
young. Told
Almost in
you
the
young.
40, almost in the 40 plus club, man. One more year, you be there.
I'm
Young
making my
man.
best shit, man. It's a blessing, man, an honor to be, here at 39. So, yeah,
Shoot, I
man,
can't even
I'm
remember
definitely grateful.
39.
So I'm blessed and grateful, man.
Ah, hey, I
I'm
got
thankful.
this upcoming year be my last year in the 40s, so I'm gonna have to make it a good one. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man,
But
third.
that's a milestone.
What?
Hey,
40?
No. I mean, just it's a milestone.
oh yeah,
It
man.
is.
Like
40 is a milestone. But
You don't want the alternative.
oh
yeah,
no, and I'm gonna say the way some of us used to live when we was younger, bro. Just making it to this point, man, is a blessing,
Yeah.
man.
right.
Growing up in some of these places, man,
Yeah.
and doing some of the things you ain't supposed to be doing when you're younger. I appreciate every year, man, and that's every new year. I kind of say a little proud of myself because it was a lot of times, man. We was out there and you didn't know you were gonna make it home. You know, I'm not even, I'm not even glorifying nothing because I wasn't out there like that. But I knew it and I was around it, and just to be sitting here at 48, bro, it's a blessing, man. My wife, she going through it now because she don't want to hit them numbers getting bigger like that. But I'm like, man,
Better
22
accept it.
was a blessing. So, I'm
Hmm.
appreciating every year, man. And, being able to do this with y'all, it make it even better, man. So, like I said, we got some big things going on, man. And it's gonna be upward, man. We're gonna keep on doing our thing. Next year gonna be great.
Yeah,
And I'm looking
that's
forward
the
to it.
goal. That's the goal to
But
make
y'all
this thing bigger and better.
always, man, y'all be safe, especially on the upcoming new. Wait, hold on. Let me ask y'all a question before we get out of here. Do people in y'all area shoot firecrackers before Christmas?
Yeah, they've already shooting firecrackers
No,
in my
not
neighborhood.
firecrackers.
They got about 9 stands right before you get to my house already.
But they
Ready
selling
Man,
everybody
them for
doing
New
it.
Year's, not for Christmas.
man,
That bro, they start selling
because I'm Chris,
Christmas Eve and day. They
man,
start
I'm
selling
sitting there watching.
firecrackers.
I'm sitting there watching TV on Christmas Eve, man, and all of a sudden, at first I thought somebody was shooting, which it happens. But I'm like, then I started listening close. I'm like, man, somebody shooting firecrackers. I started hearing like bottle rockets and stuff. I'm like, somebody shooting firecrackers before Christmas when they started doing that, man. Like,
Right.
Hmm.
Nah.
oh no, them was fire. I know the difference, Law. My neighborhood, I know the difference. I know when they be
Clap.
I know when they be dumping. That wasn't what that was.
But yeah, don't be
That
out
was
there
legit
outside.
firecrackers.
Please be safe with them firecrackers. Don't
Yes,
You can't
please,
be drinking
man.
out there. Be drinking Martell, Hennessy, stuff
Martell.
like that. Sitting out there drinking that Martell, trying to throw a bottle rocket. It ain't finna work out for. I'm telling you.
No, it don't. It don't.
I know.
It don't work out good for you, man. When you don't got that awareness, when you don't got that awareness of what's going on, and that thing fall over, and you still
Mhm.
standing there holding that cup. Shit, man,
Right.
Yeah,
it
I'm
could be a
telling you,
bad situation, man.
don't be out there just drunk shooting firecrackers. I'm telling you, because it's been some bad. I done seen some of the bad accidents with firecrackers, man.
Oh yeah, man. Like
Yeah,
I just,
just
I
be
done seen
safe
some
with them
people
fireworks.
get hurt real bad.
Yeah, hand blowed off everything.
And like I say, man, if you don't have to be outside around New Year's Eve, bro, don't. Cause people out there waiting to snatch you up, and it's like there, you got people out here acting crazy and stuff, man. If you could do this stuff in your house or in your vicinity without having to be on the streets, man, take advantage of that. But like I said, man, y'all be safe because we want y'all to all be back here with us next week when we have our first show in 2025. And we just gonna continue to do what we do, man, and have a good time. So I thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next year on SWAC Smoke.
Peace.